It's day 6 of not smoking or consuming any weed or THC in any form, and it's been rough. I'm having a panic attack right now, and I don't really know how to get through it. I don't really know what else to say, so I'll update you guys tomorrow. Today is day 7 of not smoking or consuming weed or THC in any form. So this is my 1 week mark. I was only able to eat 1 meal today, and it was about half of that meal. I really have not had an appetite at all for the past week. Been kind of just having to force myself to eat. I'm still waking up with morning sickness, but it's happening every other day now instead of every day. I'm still not feeling great. Still don't have a lot of energy. It just sucks because I just kind of want to sit down and enjoy a meal, and I can't. My anxiety is getting a little bit better today. I'm kind of starting to get used to not smoking, but it's definitely been a crutch that I've been using for a really long time, and it's really hard. That's all I have to say. It's really hard, but it's getting a lot easier. I'll update you guys tomorrow. Okay guys, so today is day 8 of not smoking, and I just wanted to explain a little bit more about the condition that I have and my diagnosis and what that means moving forward for me. So, after a lot of testing at the gastroenterologist, I have discovered that not only do I have 2 active stomach ulcers, a delayed gastric cycle, which means that my digestive tract is not moving food through it at the proper rate that it should be, but I was also tentatively diagnosed with Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome, also known as CHS. For those of you who don't know what CHS is, this is a condition that affects chronic marijuana users. Usually these are people that use marijuana daily, multiple times a day for several years. And personally, I've been smoking for about 3.5 to 4 years now on an everyday basis, multiple times a day, and that is why they think that I possibly have this condition. Normally, the way that weed works, as you guys are probably familiar with, is it actually helps encourage appetite, it helps with nausea, it helps with vomiting, and it helps to relieve any of those kind of GI symptoms that a lot of people use it for. And that's what we're familiar with cancer patients who are prescribed medical marijuana to help with their appetite, to help with the effects of chemotherapy. However, in patients with CHS, it is actually the opposite. It induces nausea and vomiting. It gives you stomach pain every morning. Like I said, it delays your gastric emptying so that you're not able to get rid of food in the way that you should. And it just kind of sits in your stomach and just stays. And it feels like just a huge lump in your stomach. And I know you guys are familiar with the feeling of after you've eaten a really big meal and you're just kind of like, oh my god, like my stomach hurts. That's kind of how I feel all the time. Experts are not really sure what causes CHS or why this happens in only a few people, because it is a very rare condition. There are people that obviously, like Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, all these people who smoke way more weed than me, have been doing it for a lot longer and will probably never develop symptoms of this in their life. The jury's still out. There's not a lot of research that has been done. However, what they do know is that cannabis affects your body in 2 ways. In your brain, it's what I was just talking about. It works as an appetite booster. It works to suppress nausea and vomiting. However, in your gut, in your digestive tract, it does the exact opposite. It actually induces nausea and vomiting. And normally for people, this contradictory effect is balanced out by your brain, and you never feel the effects of the nausea and having to vomit and abdominal pain, because the actions in your brain of the cannabis is taking over and acting as an anti-nausea agent. However, in people with CHS, for some reason the scale tips the other way and they feel it more in their gut, and it's actually working in the exact opposite way. What this causes is sometimes severe acid reflux, because it will loosen your esophageal sphincter that closes your stomach and normally keeps all the acid and all the bad stuff down. It loosens this so that it's able to come up into your esophagus and start to ruin and burn your esophageal tract. Now, symptoms are usually different for everybody, but there are normally 3 phases of this: the prodromal phase, the hyperemetic phase, and the recovery phase. The prodromal phase usually lasts several months to years, and this just kind of feels like you've been waking up for a really long time with just morning nausea. And a lot of regular smokers will try to combat this by actually taking a hit, smoking some weed, and then they'll start to feel better immediately. But chronically, this can actually make symptoms worse, because it's hard to tell that, the weed is actually what's causing it. So a lot of people don't know about it, it's not diagnosed in this stage, and they actually just increase their weed consumption to try to counteract the morning nausea, and it's not that severe. People can get by. The second phase, which I recently just came out of / am still in, is the hyperemetic phase. Now, during this time, patients will go to the ED on a regular basis. I've probably been there at least 7 or 8 times in the past 6 months. I've never been to the ED other than to work there before in my life. I found myself needing to go there 7 times in the past 6 months, because basically I just could not stop throwing up. I was throwing up 20, 30 times a day, and at that point I just needed to go to the hospital and say, hey, I need IV fluids, I need to get my fluids back up, I'm dehydrated, my electrolytes could be out of balance. And this is a really dangerous thing, because if you don't seek help, it can actually be deadly. And there is one documented case of a 17-year-old boy who was diagnosed with CHS and unfortunately passed away due to kidney failure because of an electrolyte imbalance that occurred from throwing up so much, basically. Now, the third phase, which I'm hoping to enter into pretty soon, I kind of already have, I guess, is when you have chosen to stop smoking marijuana altogether and your digestive tract begins to correct itself. From what I've heard, this can last anywhere from 1 month to 3 months. It's really different for every person. Personally, I pretty much feel the same as I did during the hyperemetic phase, minus the really severe bouts of vomiting. Just to give you a little update on my day 8, I woke up with morning nausea again. Usually takes about an hour to 3 hours for this to go away. I need to take an anti-nausea pill, I need to take an antacid pill, and I just need to drink a lot of water. And it's usually a few hours before I can force myself to eat anything. I've really only been able to eat like 1 meal, if I'm even able to get that down, since the past 8 days, since I've stopped smoking. I've had absolutely no appetite, and as soon as I do start eating, I'm instantly full. Sometimes my abdomen will start cramping, sometimes it'll really start hurting, and I just have to stop eating. I have to eat really slow. I'm supposed to be eating small, frequent meals throughout the day, but obviously when you have no appetite and you're constantly nauseous and putting food into your body makes you feel like you're just gonna bring it right back out, that's a very difficult thing to do. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm just trying to force myself to get the food down. I've lost about 20 pounds this month from not being able to eat. You can definitely see it in my face. You can definitely see it in my eyes. I just look drained. I don't have a lot of energy. Emotionally, day 8, I thought I was doing a little bit better, but normally with this condition, like I said, you don't really see any improvement for the first couple months sometimes. And like I said, I pretty much feel the exact same way as I did in the hyperemetic phase, which is just shit, honestly, and that's really starting to take an impact on my mental health, because I'm doing everything by the books. I'm not smoking at all. I'm avoiding all of the foods I shouldn't be eating. I'm pretty much just on a rice and banana diet at this point, and doesn't really seem to be helping, and that's really frustrating because there's not a lot I can do other than just wait it out until I hopefully feel better. And that's a lot of the time why people don't take this condition. They don't really think that they have this because they'll stop smoking, and unlike other things where you immediately start to see an improvement, it just doesn't work like that. It's the same for a long time until your body can kind of rewire itself without the weed. And some of it could just be withdrawal from me just not smoking this long for the first time in 4 years. But yeah, it's been really hard. I've been waking up super nauseous, and it's just makes me feel very defeated because I'm doing everything I can. I've been crying a lot more than I normally do. My mood has been very unstable because obviously when I would feel like this in the past, I would just pack a bowl and smoke that, but now that that's not an option, it's really tough. And it's kind of forcing me to look at my other problems as well. I'm sure you guys know that I suffer with anxiety and depression. I've been very vocal about that on my channel in the past, but it's been a slap in the face trying to deal with that at the same time as I'm dealing with all of these physical symptoms and not being able to cope with it like I normally have been. So it's been tough. I'm going to keep updating you guys. I just want to get better, so I'm going to stay on this track and I'm going to document it for you because I don't think there's a lot of research out there or patients that have really shown you what this is like, and that's why a lot of people suffer with this for years, is because they don't take it seriously and they just keep doing the same things until their body just gives up every once in a while. I'm hopeful that pretty soon things are going to start turning around, whether it be tomorrow, next week, next month. I hope it doesn't take 3 months. I have another appointment with my doctor coming up, and it could just be more severe for me because, like I said, I have stomach ulcers as well, but day 8, it's been hard. Alright. This is my day 9 update. I woke up about an hour and a half ago, just really nauseous, as I do most mornings. I thought I was kind of past this because I was able to sleep in for a few days, but we're right back to waking up with the morning nausea. And not for nothing, not to be TMI, but when this happens, my stomach hurts so bad because I'm just not able to go number 2. And it's like painful and I just feel full all the time, and I had to take another antacid. I take that twice a day, every day. I had to take another anti-nausea pill. Yeah, I don't know. So far, I honestly don't see any improvement. I know that it could take a month to 3 months for me to see an improvement, and a lot of the reason why people give up on trying to quit to see if this is why is because they don't see immediate payoff from it. So I will keep going and I will update you guys tomorrow. Hey guys, it is currently day 13 of not smoking weed or consuming THC or any form of CBD for that matter. And I haven't updated you guys for the past few days, honestly, because I was just sick of saying the same thing. The one thing I will say that I've definitely noticed is my morning nausea has completely gone away. I haven't had that in probably like 4 or 5 days now, which for me, it was like an every single day thing for the past 3 years or so. So for that to go away is huge. But on the other side, my digestive system is still really slowed down. I had to get a stomach emptying study done prior to undergoing this journey of not smoking, and they told me basically that my digestive system was extremely slow and it was not normal at all, and they put me on a course of 10-day antibiotics, and I was taking those 4 times a day. I finished them about 2 or 3 weeks ago now. Obviously, like, I did smoke in that time, but I have not seen an improvement at all in the rate of my digestive system. As I said, I'm not nauseous in the morning now, but I'm waking up with this feeling of just fullness, like my stomach is still retaining all of the food from the day before or even days before, and it's kind of just like building up throughout the day. So I'm supposed to be eating smaller, more frequent meals, which I have been, but there's not really like a good medication or a good fix for speeding up your digestive system. I'm hoping that just continuing not to smoke and just waiting, honestly, will solve the problem, but I'm getting really frustrated with my doctors because it just seems like nobody cares anymore, and I'm still clearly having symptoms. You know, I'm on this diet of pretty much I can't eat any vegetables that aren't completely boiled to death because they are too hard to digest. I haven't had a salad in a few months now, or like any form of leafy greens. Can't eat anything spicy. I'm not really supposed to eat dairy because of my stomach ulcers. It's just been hard. I'm not supposed to eat 3 hours before I go to bed. Yeah, it's just frustrating when it feels like you're not being listened to, or you are being listened to, but you're just getting blown off because there's nothing more that, you know, the doctors can do for you. And I'm still having these symptoms, so it's just frustrating because I'm literally doing every single thing that I can, and I'm not really seeing a big improvement. Which is normal, you know, like it's only been 13 days. Sometimes it takes people up to 3 months of not smoking in order to see an improvement, but I don't know. I guess I will update you guys again when something happens. I either have a good day or I have another bad day. I was supposed to have an appointment with my gastroenterologist yesterday, and because of the whole COVID situation, everything has been moved to online doctor's appointments, and I was 2 minutes late to the phone call, so I missed the appointment. I'm not really sure when I'm going to be able to reschedule it because last time I tried to, they said it was going to be another 3 weeks before they could see me. And, you know, it's hard because people don't know about this condition, doctors included. There's not a lot of research on it, so, like, they don't really know how to help you. It's not like you can definitively prove, like, yes, I have this, or no, I don't have this. And the healing process, like, is so slow that it's easy to be like, oh, it's not the weed, but obviously, like, my morning nausea has gone away. I'm not throwing up anymore. I haven't thrown up since I've not smoked. You know, the day that I decided I was going to stop smoking, that was the last day that I threw up. So it's been 2 weeks. I want to make this video to make a point that we need to do more medical research on this. People may think like, oh, why would we want to do research on an illness for pot smokers when they could just stop smoking and everything is going to be magically fixed, you know? Clearly that's not the case. I'm still losing weight. I've lost 20 pounds now in the past month, which is extremely unusual because I'm not working out any more or less than I did before, and I'm not trying to lose any weight. So it's scary, honestly, because I'm still losing the weight because I can't eat a lot. I get full so quickly, but I don't know. Food is at least starting to be a little bit more appetizing. I'm not having to like constantly like force it down. I'm actually getting hungry now, but I'm just sick of having this like full feeling all the time. It's like after you eat a meal, you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I need to lay down. But like that's me for like the first 3 hours in the morning. So the saga continues. Hey guys, it is day 48 of not smoking, and honestly, I feel great. I know this is like a lot different tone of the videos that you've been seeing of me, but I haven't updated you guys because nothing has really happened. This has all been such a slow process, and I'm doing really good. I feel like probably like 80% back to normal now. I think my stomach ulcers have completely healed, so what I wasn't eating from those, the tomatoes, the lemons, all the acidic foods, caffeine, I've been able to get back on my daily coffee grind, and that has been great. And I've still been really careful with the vegetables, but I actually have had a salad twice now. The first time I had it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it definitely gave me a stomach ache. It did not go well, so I just was trying to stay away from those foods still. But yesterday I made myself a kale salad with spinach in it and raw carrots and raw onion, and my stomach was completely fine. I didn't have any stomach aches afterwards. I didn't have that really full feeling after that I've been having. I've been able to eat meals like I normally would again. I have been able to keep off the 20 pounds that I lost, which obviously, like, I'm not really happy about the way that I lost the weight. It was super scary, but I'm no longer losing weight. I've been able to maintain this weight and just eating pretty much as I want. I'm thinking like I've permanently made some lifestyle switches that have been just like eating smaller portion meals, which I should have been doing anyways, so that's been great. But I haven't had to worry about, you know, like, oh, I have to eat like this much food now and then in 2 hours because I didn't eat a full meal, like I'm gonna have to eat again to keep my metabolism going. It's been normal. I haven't had to like worry about that stuff, so that's great. I haven't really pushed it on the vegetables thing. Honestly, I probably should because I've been taking a multivitamin, but I definitely should be like eating more vegetables. The salad was a really great start and I'm really happy that went well. So yeah, I have a GI appointment with my doctor in a few days now just to kind of talk about what's been going on. A month ago, she put me on a new medication that kind of helps speed up my stomach contractions so everything can kind of get digested, and I take that right before I'm going to bed. I think that's been like really helping me, and obviously just not smoking, slowly things are getting back to normal. Yeah, I guess this is the new me now. I know this is going to be the first video that I haven't smoked in going up on my channel, and I just want to say, if this is the end of your journey with me, thank you guys so much for coming along. Thank you guys for joining the fam. Obviously, like, there's no hard feelings if this is going to be your last video with me, or if my last video was already your last video with me. I know I told you guys on Twitter and on Instagram that I wasn't going to be posting any more 420 content. As you guys may have noticed, I deleted all weed related content from my Twitter and my Instagram, and I changed those platforms as well as my YouTube name to reflect my actual name, which is Mackenzie Orcutt. It feels really weird saying that on camera. I had never had it be my real name on purpose because I didn't want to be tied to any sort of like smoking content or anything like that, but now that my new channel is just gonna focus mainly on lifestyle, DIYs, mental health, advice, confessions, just kind of little rants that I want to talk about and tell you guys. Like, I have no issues with that being tied to my personal name and my personal life. So yeah, I really hope you guys want to come along with me for this new journey. My content, you know, before was always just me smoking and then me doing something else, and instead of smoking, I'm just gonna get right into doing that other thing. So I feel like it's not gonna change a ton. So I'd love for you guys to stick around in this new journey of mine, but if you don't, I totally understand. A lot of you guys just subscribe for the 420 content, and that is completely okay. But you know, if you feel like a personal connection to me now, which I hope you guys do, I definitely feel like a connection to you all, stick around. You know, I'm not going anywhere. I hopefully am going to be posting a lot more regularly now, but that kind of leads me into wanting to talk about my mental health through this whole journey. I can honestly say that the last 48 days have been some of the roughest days of my life. I really had to do a lot of soul searching. I've always been honest with you guys that I suffer quite a bit with anxiety and depression, and if we're being real here, like, I was always using that as sort of like a mask to cover up how I was feeling. Instead of really working through those thoughts, I would just smoke and get high and be like, you know what? we're on a whole new wave now, so I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to try to get myself into a depressive slump. And now that I don't have that, it's been really hard dealing with all of the feelings that I had kind of been suppressing for the past 3 or 4 years, and new things have come along since then to challenge me. Obviously, the whole COVID situation has come along. The Black Lives Matter movement is still here and thriving, and I'm so happy that that is happening. It was definitely overdue, and I have been going through a breakup, so it's been a lot on my plate. I started seeing my therapist twice a week instead of once a week, which I was normally doing. And honestly, like, it's been really hard to just get myself motivated to edit, to film, to just get out of bed in the morning and make myself something to eat, make my bed, and start my day. And I'm not proud of it, but I feel like you guys need to know. This video, I really want this to be like a really honest kind of how I'm doing video, and how I've been doing that first like month and a half was not good, you know. I was honestly just awake for like a few hours of the day, then I was just sleeping, just because I didn't have weed to try to get me out of that mindset, so I was just sleeping to avoid everything, avoid people. Well, that's not really been hard because we've been in quarantine, but just avoid myself, honestly. And the last like week or so has been a lot better because I finally posted my last video with me smoking, which I was still smoking in it, but while I was editing that video and kind of getting it together, obviously I wasn't smoking, so just to kind of get myself to sit down and edit that video was super hard for me. But I feel like I'm not there yet, but I feel like I'm starting to go back uphill again with my mental health. And I've gotten used to not smoking. It's not something that I really think about all the time anymore. Yes, when I'm having my hard days, which are a lot, I am always like, man, like I know I could make myself a lot happier if I just smoke, but you know, I know that's going to send myself right back to the hospital, right back to the ED, and I'm going to have to start from square one again. So I don't have any weed. I got rid of it all. I still have my pieces because those are my babies, and honestly they were a lot of money. So I'm not ready to part ways with those yet, nor do I know if I ever will, because I'm sure in my lifetime, like, I'll smoke on like one off night again. So whenever that time does come, I just want to have that around so I can smoke out of like a really nice piece. I don't have anything planned anytime soon, you know. I really just have been really good about being clean, and clean is a weird word, but being weed free, and I feel like making this video has definitely helped me stick to it, because a lot of the times I thought like, oh, I'll just smoke once and then I'll go back to it, and then I'm like, no, because when I come back to this and I say however many days I've been weed free, I don't want to lie about it. I want this to be completely real, and I also don't want to go backwards with any of the health strides that I've been making. I will say one thing though, I did take psychedelic the other day, and that was really bizarre because my stomach is definitely like not where it was before all of this, and I have done psychedelics in the past. I have done them at festivals, and the last time I did them was like 2 years ago, other than last week, and you know, I tripped like you would expect that you would off of what I was taking. And this week when I did it, I took a tab of acid, and I also had some shrooms, and they just did not work. I felt nothing, like nothing even remotely comparable to what I had felt in the past when I had done it. And I talked to my cousin who is a nurse about it, and she said that between the gastroparesis and the stomach ulcers, that can definitely lead to some malabsorption along with some of the medications that I'm on to try to combat those things. So she said she wasn't surprised that that happened, but it's gonna be a few months, probably at least, before something like that would work for me again. I'm not planning on doing it anytime soon, but I'm telling you this, one, to tell you that it didn't work, so I want this to be the, hopefully, source that if you're going through something similar and you've been finding, like, I've said this in the past, like, my whole I bought fake edibles vlog. No, I think those were real. This has happened to me when I was smoking, like a few times where I took edibles and nothing happened and everyone around me could feel them, and it was making me feel like there was something wrong with me, which there was and there is, but I'm on the upward swing of that. I'm healing. If you have encountered anything similar to that, there's not really any information out there obviously talking about the connection between drug absorption in your body and CHS. There's just not a lot of research out there. So if you are dealing with something similar, yeah, just know that that's normal. That's what's gonna happen when your body is trying to heal, trying to get over all of those different diseases, and I don't even know. There's probably more stuff that I don't even know that's going on, but I do know that it is healing, and that's what's important. So I'm just gonna completely take a break from all sorts of drugs. Obviously psychedelics aren't something that you should be doing on a regular basis at all. I'd say like once a year maybe, but it did really help me because I did feel like a tiny bit off of it. Like I didn't feel sober, but I wasn't tripping, that's for sure. But it did really help me come to terms with everything that's been going on and being sober, and I've been drinking a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Guys, I just turned 21, so I've been kind of exploring with that, but I've only gotten drunk once and I filmed that, so that's coming soon. But yeah, it's been interesting going from smoking multiple times a day, every single day for years, to just not doing anything and just being alone with my own mind. And yeah, I will continue to update you guys on my mental health journey, but in terms of this video, I think I'm gonna end it here. I wanted to end this video when I was feeling normal again, and I've been feeling normal for a little bit now, so I think this is as good as we're gonna get for a while. And you know, maybe in like another year or so, when festivals come back, when things start happening again, hopefully I can enjoy a trip maybe then, but until then, thanks for coming along this journey with me. I think this has been something that I needed, not only for my health, but for my mental health, to just sit alone with myself and my thoughts and work through everything that I've kind of just been putting on the back burner since, honestly, junior year of high school. I just finished up my junior year of college, so it's something that I definitely needed. I am starting to see this as a really positive thing for me, for my health, for my channel. Yeah, I'm doing good, and honestly, just the takeaways that I want to say is I used to tell myself that I was using it for my anxiety and that it helped me, but I don't think it was. I think it was helping like in those really acute situations where I was like having a full-on panic attack and just needing to calm myself down, but in terms of like alleviating my anxiety on like a long-term level, I don't think that was doing it at all. If anything, like I've made more progress since I've stopped smoking with my mental health than I ever was using weed to cope with that. And not that I'm telling you guys to stop smoking, but if you do, just kind of sit down and ask yourself, why are you using it? What are the times that you're using it? And what do you think that it's helping you with? Because I feel like me, I'm not going to speak for you guys, but I was definitely using it as a crutch and as a coping mechanism, and it was not healthy. You know, obviously like sleeping all day is not a good coping method either, but I'm slowly, very, very slowly learning how to deal with that stuff on my own. I guess that's all I wanted to say here. I hope you guys stay with me, but if you don't, I do want to say thank you for coming on this journey with me for the past year and a half. I've had so much fun with you guys, and I will continue to have so much fun with you guys in my new content. And as always, just don't forget to stay smiling. Peace.